with Featherweight Doctor. You might notice the enormous smile on my face, mostly because I missed you guys. I didn't have my show on Monday, and now I've got my buddy on with me, Alicia. We're going to welcome her in just a second. We are kicking off a new series tonight called Featherweight Stories. One of the things that Alicia and I'm going to speak for her because she's not on yet, and I can say whatever I want, but I'm just kidding, that we love about these things is that they have a history and a life before they land in our home. Some of them are upwards of 87 years old. And so whenever something cool comes with a featherweight, I always make note of it. I always keep information about the original owner's name. And I know Alicia nerds out about this stuff just as much as I do. So we are excited to kick off tonight. Reagan's going to bring her on. And then I'm going to say hi to some friends. And then we're going to have some fun. So there you go. That's our agenda tonight. All right, everybody say hi to Alicia. There she is. Oh, wait.
Hello, friends.
A second ago, she was like this. Oh. And then I'm like, ah!
I plead the fifth.
Hold on, I can't hear her very well. Let me put up the volume. Okay. So let me bring my feeds up here. Come on, Darlene. Pull it together. Pull it together. You've had a day off and now you're all discombobulated. There's a kerfuffle. It's bad. It's bad. Let's see. So how's everybody doing this week? Did everybody have a good 4th? We camped. Well, glammed. I use camping term very loosely. I can camp. We used to backpack, like where I literally carried all of our belongings on our back, Alicia. So I am a camper, but I prefer here in my mid 40s to be more of a glamper, if you know what I mean. We're bougie. We're bougie with our little tiny home, aka travel trailer. Okay, there we are. Let's see. Say hi to everybody. Oh, so many people. So many people. Okay, hold on, guys. I got to get onto YouTube. So Reagan was just bringing all this up, and Alicia's like, I need a Reagan. She was making fun of me, everybody, about not being so techie savvy. Impolite.
I did not make fun of you. I just
You're
said
like,
that
oh, good Lord,
needed your
thank you,
daughter.
Reagan's here.
I need your daughter.
I do okay. All right. Oh, Denise. Oh, she liked that I called you a nerd. Denise is on, my evil twin sister. Hello. And Wendy Allen is on YouTube. Hi, guys. All right. Let me say hi to the big Facebook crew here. Angel's on from Houston. Hi, sweetheart. I hope you're enjoying your summer vacation. Angel is a educator for elementary age. She went from preschool. I think she said she's moving up to 4th grade this year. Aww. I think she's a saint because I would have a hard time with that job. I think you definitely have to be cut from a special cloth. Angel is cut from that cloth. So welcome, Angel. Mel and Joe are on from Mississippi with torrential rain. Good Lord. Everybody be careful. Everybody's being careful. Becky's on from Texas. Hi. Debbie's on from Sinclair. Nope. That's her last name. Okay.
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Thank you. Becky says, hey, Alicia. Nancy's on from Lake Stevens. Everybody says hello. Mary's on from Kansas. Hi, Julia from, hey, y'all, she says. So she's a Texan. She can say that. I got corrected by my Omaha friend Judy that I was not close enough to the South to be converted to say y'all. She said she was crying in the car laughing because I was like, I went to Omaha. I can say y'all. And she's like, no, Darlene, no, you can't. Hi, Judy P. from Massachusetts. Jeanette's on from Sammamish. Hello. Angel says, my idea of camping would be staying in a hotel without Wi-Fi. Okay.
I mean, depending on where the motel is, maybe it's like in the side of a mountain.
You never know. Hi, Karen Baird from Sweden. Sweden is on this evening. Hello. And Carrie Brock is on from Camarillo, California. Hello. Thanks for joining us. Hello, Pauline in Texas. And Mel and Joe, Denise says hello on YouTube. Okay, am I done communicating for you guys yet? Okay. Lawrence is on. Hello, hello. She had a good 4. Therese is on. Bernadette, Canadian Bernadette is on. Hello. I have 3 Bernadettes. Canadian Bernadette, Bellevue Bernadette, and Bellingham Bernadette.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But Canadian Bernadette is on tonight. Hi, Jen Jen. Hi, Kathleen. Hi, Kathy Klein from Humid, Illinois. She's calling us the Lucy and Ethel show. Mel calls Denise the nice twin. What the heck, Mel?
I was going to ask what made her evil.
I can't really say on camera. No, I'm just kidding. She did do a lot of really awful things to me when we were little. She was kind of slightly bigger than I was, and she kind of picked at me. She threw a toy gun at my head. I have stitches on my head.
What did you do to her, though?
Alicia,
look, I've got 2 kids that are so close in age that it's a constant she should did whatever. But I'm just sitting here and
I'm sure I did nothing. I was an angel.
We'll get Denise on here one day.
Yeah. Nah. Hi, Christy Willis from Mount Vernon, and hi, Missy from Redmond. All right, Franny's on, Jen's on. She's doing 2nd grade, not 4th grade. Angel got moved again, girl child. Joanne is on from Mississippi. Deanne is on, and Sandy Reese. Hi, girls. She is not evil. That's what she said. Thank you, Sandy, for coming to my defense. I appreciate that. Or are you coming to Denise's defense? So, thanks for joining me, everybody. I've had kind of a smile on my face all day, even though I had a featherweight that was giving me intermittent electrical problems. I'm just going to strip it all out and change the electrical. I'm done fussing around with it. Oh, Mom is on. Mom says, one twin was playing tug of war with the toy gun. Oh, and I must have let go. So she was the stronger twin in that scenario. Beth. Right in the head.
I need to get Denise and Mom on. That's what I'm thinking.
No. Hi, Wendy Allen over on YouTube. The weather here in Seattle is fabulous. It is out of the 80s and 90s. We are at 70 and partially cloudy, and I couldn't be happier. So tonight is the kickoff of our new series. Alicia was absolutely the perfect guest to have on the show tonight to join us. We are talking about Featherweight Stories. I told you guys my favorite story when we announced last week, my favorite acquisition story. It didn't have anything to do with me. It was just how this particular client had come and acquired her antique sewing machine. Therese said, look at the cover up. She's not even a politician. How do you know I'm not a politician? I'm not a politician. I say too much crap that'd get myself in trouble. If I was a politician, I'd be a terrible politician. You too, actually, Alicia.
I would too.
So, anyway, we're going to hear, first of all, Alicia, why don't you tell us what's been going on? You haven't been with us for a few weeks since Attachment Wednesdays stopped. So what have you been doing? Tell me, other than hanging out with a questionable beverage by the pool and your children all day long, what else is going
on? Basically, in the summertime, I still do restorations. So the page is still very active with the restorations that are going on. But in the summertime, I kind of slow down because I am the type of person that has to have sunlight. So I'm outside from basically 9 a.m. until I need to come in, or if I have an appointment or I have to get ready. So you'll find me out there in the sun. I also kick my kids outside. I don't like them to be cooped up in front of a TV screen all the time.
Yeah.
And, winter will be coming soon enough. So
Right.
once winter comes, I'm hoping to start really expanding Featherweight 38. I'm going to be working on the website because it's not set up the way that I want it to. I'm hoping to get kits and things like that available to start doing fabric sales.
Okay.
And potentially launching some different fun things that way.
Cool.
But I'm kind of just like, you know what, fall and winter and early spring are really when my creative juices kind of come into play. And so I'm just kind of prepping of how I want to start doing things again, I guess.
It's good to have a plan. I think to a certain level you can kind of fly by the seat of your pants, but then you and I have talked that you want this to be a serious business. Like you're not looking for some side hustle. You want this to be a good revenue stream. You want it to be fruitful for your family. And so, yeah, I mean, you need a plan. I totally 100% understand that. So, and anything I can do to help you with your plan,
I
bounce
appreciate
ideas off of you, whatever, like, I'm there for you. So,
and I'm a stay-at-home mom and I homeschool. So it is kind of like, this is my little thing. This kind of is what, my husband is very much involved in Featherweight 38. I am not very mechanically inclined. I am not going to lie. But I love doing the lives. I love the marketing aspect. I love communicating with my customers. And typically I throw certain things at him and then, I'll be following him along and I can, I know what he's doing. You just won't find me taking apart a motor. But, it's also kind of fun to be able to interact and have that. Like I do that with my husband. It's just fun. And I've been doing this since my kids were really little, which I'll get into when I talk about Clickety. Yeah. And so they already love all the machines that kind of come through the door, and it's really cute. And it's just nice to see where that may go. I mean, Micah now has her own featherweight. She'll be 8 next month. So
nice.
yeah.
That's awesome. I had my little Isabel over today, my part-timer who bought a featherweight out of the clear blue, never had any aspirations of sewing at all, and then started hanging out with me. And your website name is Featherweight 38 LLC? Or just Featherweight?
It's just featherweight38.com.
Okay, 38 is the number, Franny. So, let me put it in here since I don't have Ray. I'll type it in. Featherweight. Boop, 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 boop. Let's spell featherweight. What?
I have my computer in the other room.
It's okay, I'm doing it. Ray 30.
Did you kick Ray to her?
Well, she was being all kinds of sassy, so I said, hit the road, woman. She didn't like that I said that Andy is the paperwork aspect of the business, keeping us all, licensed and trademarked and all of that. And I find that particularly sexy. She never really appreciates when I make comments like that. So she's like, ew. Ew, David, ew. Okay, sorry about the shit creek reference. Anyway, thanks, Ray. Okay, so hi, Polly. Thanks for joining us late from UK. Bougie dress, no pearls. I'm not. This is. Oh, you think I should have my pearls on today, Judy P? Poor Ray. Sandy, don't feel bad for Ray. It's fine. Girl is doing okay. So tell us. We know from previous lives that Clickety was your first, but she's actually not a 38, but it didn't rhyme with featherweight. Her real year. So
wait, this one's actually a boy. Clickety is a boy.
It's not natural.
No, but I do things my own way, Darlene. You know this.
I do.
Yes, and he's a 39, but Featherweight 39 just did not. It
have
just
a ring.
Doesn't sound very good, and I never came across another. Ironically, I have a 38 sitting over here that we just got finished restoring.
Oh, nice.
For a client.
But Clickety was the first. So tell me why you went looking for Clickety.
Oh boy. So I had Micah in 2013, and I had created a little baby quilt for her. And then I had my son in 2015, and I was making a baby quilt for him. And the machine that I was using was a Husqvarna Viking Designer 1. And it started having like these weird crunching noises. And it had been in and out of service for literally from the time my mom bought the machine from when I was 12 until I had decided with Steven that I was going to sell the machine, well, trade in the machine for a new machine.
Okay.
And I went to the Husqvarna dealer, and he wanted me just to get a basic machine. And I'm like, no, I need all these decorative stitches. I need all these bells and whistles. I need it to cut the thread for me. And that machine ended up being a lemon. And the place that I bought it from had to order me another brand new machine.
Yikes.
I went to Indiana to sew with my aunt, and I took the loaner machine with me, and she sewed on it. She said, wow, this is just, in her opinion, she was just like, I really like the quality of my older Husqvarna.
Yep.
And then she pulls out this little black box and says, I want to show you something. So she sits this 48 in front of me of this machine, and I'm just looking at this like,
there's no way this thing sews.
Right. What am I supposed to do with this? You know, like,
it's a little baby machine.
Yes.
Is it a toy?
Everything about the machine intimidated me, from the bobbin case and setting the tension on that to just the tension on this, because I was used to something doing it for me.
Right.
Looking at how to thread it, I'm thinking, I'm never going to remember how to thread this thing. And so we sat there, and she got it all threaded up, and I started sewing on it. And ironically, she had music playing in the background, and the music was even from the 40s.
Oh,
and I'm just like captivated. Like, it was just like a time warp, you know, where you went back.
That's such a good way of saying that. You were captivated. I call it hypnotized.
Yes.
They have this hypnotic movement, and that's captivated. I love that word. That's awesome.
And it made a little clickety clack sound. So I told her, I said, if I ever get one of these little things, I'm going to name it Clickety. So I packed my bags on Sunday, and I drive home. It's about a 2-hour drive. And that whole entire time, I'm like, I'm getting myself a Featherweight. And I come in through the doors, and I tell Steven, I go, I need one of these.
Yeah.
He's like looking at me, and he's like got this deer in the headlights, because he's like, wait a minute.
Didn't you just get a new machine?
You got a new machine, and you're just complaining that you needed all these decorative stitches. So now you're telling me you want a machine that's
has one straight
grandma.
Stitch. Yeah.
Right. And it goes forwards and backwards. And I was like,
that's it.
Yep.
And he's like, okay, you're crazy.
Yes, exactly. He was like, all right. And so luck would have it. Someone posted that they had a Featherweight for sale. I jumped on it. We drove round trip to Tennessee. I had my almost 2-year-old and my almost 4-year-old in the backseat of the car. We drove from Dayton, Ohio down to Tennessee, met at 10 o'clock at night in a Lowe's parking lot.
Sketchy.
I pick up this little machine, right? No way to tell if it works, no nothing.
Yeah.
And I have it in the passenger seat below me, and the whole way home, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it's got all this old stuff, and look at all this things. And
Sandy Reese says, happy wife, happy life.
Exactly. So we brought it home, you know, like I said, and what was even, his grandpa had just died, and he had just gotten home from the funeral. We drove to get the Featherweight and came back home. I mean, my husband, if you haven't seen him on Featherweight 38's page at all, if you don't even know who I am, my husband is like, he is a saint. He
He
really,
he is
like,
the best. He really is.
he really is. He's a sweetheart. And
He even gets crazy calls from me just doing sanity checks just to make sure, like, it's not bad enough. You know, you're telling him which way to go and how to get there, but I call him every once in a while too, and he's always so nice to me to, like, because sometimes the expert needs another expert to, like, bounce ideas off of, and my in-laws also work for the company, so but they RV, so sometimes I can't get a hold of them. So Steven's even helped me out a couple times. So he is a good
we
guy.
have to tell him to speak English because he does speak very engineering like. I
Good
mean,
Lord.
he's not a typical engineer. Like he has a really funny personality.
Right.
But when he gets talking, you're sitting there like,
no, I'm like, dumb it down a little for me, Steven. Dumb it down a little.
exactly. Exactly.
The ladies would like to know how you knew that Clickety was a boy. Did you check behind her tail? What'd you do?
I don't know. I've always had, like, I've kind of gravitated towards boy animals. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My other featherweights are girls. He just was, I don't know. I just named him Clickety.
Clickety.
And Clickety just sounded more like a boy than a girl to me, I guess. And this machine did give me a run for my money when I first brought it home because I plugged it in. The plug, I don't know where I did with the plug. The plug was one of those original plugs that had no insulation, so it had metal touching metal.
Yeah.
So it kind of popped on me.
Oh, snap. I've been shocked by a featherweight. It was a 222.
Oh, fun.
Yep,
Yeah.
fun times. Fun times at Featherweight Doctor. So
then,
oh, go ahead.
The whole thing bird nested, and I kind of sat there in tears because I thought, what have I just done? And Steven is the one that took it all apart, put it back together, and got it sewing. And basically, that's how I started Featherweight 38, because my thought process is I didn't want somebody else to have to go through the same
frustration.
I just wanted to pull it out of the box and sew. That's all I wanted to do. I'm not really big in all the, cleaning stuff. I wanted to sew.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make sure that the machines that people got were turnkey machines. So when you got it, you pulled it out of the box and you could just start sewing.
Yep.
So
I agree. That's definitely one of my goals as well. Like, try and make this a redeeming experience and not a sad one. So I actually serviced a machine last month and it just came back in today. And there is some kind of a hitch in her giddy up on the bobbin assembly. And I'm like, did you roll over a pin? Like, it's definitely like a trauma. Definitely feels like it had some kind of a trauma. So now I'm like, dang it. I feel like I failed. I mean, it was not doing that when it left me, but I still feel like I failed her. So
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
So I pulled out my Esther, because Esther was machine number 1 for me. And her name came on her. I think I told you guys this. I don't think I've ever showed this to you, though. So this was just, did you see her name right there? Esther J. McCombs.
Oh, I do. Oh.
Yep. So I got her from an estate. I had a similar experience. I'd never even sewn on one when I bought this, because I just knew I wanted like a portable machine to be able to take classes. I was starting to teach a lot of classes. I was tired of hauling around my Bernina. I was tired of hauling it around. And so I had asked Andy to find one. Aren't you supposed to say Bernina like that? Bernina.
Bernina.
Yeah, exactly. It needs a little shoulder shake. Exactly. So anyway, I had not even sewn on one, but I told Andy I wanted one. So he was like, ooh, I'll find you one of those little, I didn't even know what it was called. I told him to find me one of those little black sewing machines. I didn't know. So when I went and tried it out, I knew I had read enough to know that I needed the motor to be running. I could care less if anything else was working, but I knew I wanted at least the motor running. So this gal had her in a carport, like you guys have carports there, like not a garage, but like an open air carport. And she puts it out and she gives it to me, and I look at it and I'm like, I said, well, I need to make sure the motor runs. She goes, so you want to sew with it? And I'm like, yeah. Never even threaded the stupid thing up. So I threaded her up. I forgot how shiny she was. Look at that. I forgot.
She's very shiny. She's a very shiny machine. Gorgeous machine.
She doesn't sew very well anymore because I lent her to a friend and she got dropped.
Ugh.
On the take-up lever, which I have replaced. I've replaced the take-up lever, but something got bent in there. So she does not sew very well, which is a total bummer. But anywho, but at that time she was flying, flying fast. And so I threaded her up on my hands and knees on the floor of this carport and all the dirt and the grime. And she takes like 3 perfect little stitches, perfect little 70-something-year-old stitches. Aww. And I look at the lady and I'm like, I don't know, she's pretty rough. Totally trying to like get a better price. I mean, come on. You're on Craigslist. You're dealing with, who knows? I know. So I didn't feel too bad about trying to, talk her down. She had another fancier one that she was putting up on eBay that same day. But this one, because Esther isn't anything, I mean, she's just a 1952, featherweight, nothing specially badged or, any other than the fact that she used to sew really nicely. But anyway, yeah, so I did get a smidge off of the price, which was nice. But yeah, I think for when we brought her home and Andy started working on her and kind of getting her cleaned up and all of that, he fell in love, and then I started sewing with her and I fell in love, and the rest is history. So yeah, there you go. Polly in the UK says Bernina definitely needs a shoulder shake when you say it. She said, I have a Bernina 807 Mini-Matic. Very cool. Oh.
Berninas hold their face or their retail value too, it seems like, because I looked into getting because I only have the featherweight, so that Husqvarna that I purchased, I actually turned around and resold. Like as soon as they gave it to me, I left it in the box and I just sold it. Yeah. So the only thing I have is a featherweight, and I'm covering his ears. As much as I love him, there's certain things that they can and cannot do. And Clickety, out of all of my featherweights, seems to sew like, I don't want to say the best. They all have personalities.
It's true.
They really do.
It's true.
But he seems to handle thicker fabric better.
Okay.
But he doesn't always get through the thickest of fabric, if that makes sense.
Okay. Carrie Bach on YouTube would like to know how many featherweights do we each have. What's your number? Like personal machines, not like in the orphanage. Or
I have Clickety the 39, Stitch the 37, Nutcracker, which is Micah's, that's the 41, and Eloise, which is my 22K. So I have 4.
Yeah. And I think I have 9 last count. I collected a few more this winter. Didn't really mean to, but I did. So Esther was number 1. Then I gotta look on the shelf. So I have a tan, Charlotte, a white, Pearl, my 222, Ruby. So that's 4. Morticia, my black side, 5. My School Bell, Bessie, my Centennial, which is the one that looks like it lived in a mud puddle, 4. Have you guys seen Bessie? I've showed you Bessie.
I've never seen Bessie.
Here's my beautiful Centennial.
Oh, yeah,
Elisa, she sews. She sews. When I bought her for $15 off of Craigslist, she looked like she was submerged in a mud puddle for 10 years. And everything was stuck. I mean, everything was stuck. And
I just love these machines. I really do.
And I just couldn't. I thought they were going to take her to the dump. So I just couldn't. So I went and saved her. And then the more I started taking screws off, the more I started getting it moving. That's her motor. Her motor pushes the machine. I did have to get a different bobbin casing because her bobbin casing was like totally rusted.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my Centennial. So I have a Centennial. So were we at 6 or 7? I think we're at 7.
7.
And then Reagan's school bus. This is Ray's school bus.
Aww.
And then, so that's 8. And then my Minnie Mouse polka dot machine is number 9. So, 9. Yeah, what the heck? Shoot, I have 10. I forgot about the Texas Exposition. My fanciest machine.
Do you have that nearby?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see.
So I got this a few months ago. This is the unicorn. I'm number 19 on a list of known machines. Unicorn of all unicorns right here, 1936. And it's only because of that little badge right there.
I love it. Oh,
yeah,
so cool.
She sews really nicely too.
Really?
Yeah, almost as nice as my school bell, but not quite as good as the school bell.
I want a school bell. That is one of the ones that I really do want.
They're kind of hard to find. And then I feel like I find them in 3s. Like I'll not see one for like a year and then I'll find one in 3s. Oh, geez. Teresa over on YouTube says she has 15 or more. She said, I can't resist those Goodwill auctions. Eric Shard says, hi, everyone. Angela from Oklahoma. Late catching you live finally. My 221 arrived last week and had to go straight to the local spa. Well, welcome to the community. That is fun. Carrie wants to know which one is our favorite and why. Ooh, picking a favorite kid. This is rather dangerous.
Well, my 2 are really between Clickety and Eloise.
The 222 is really the Cadillac of the featherweight world.
What I really had fun doing is I made stockings for everybody for Christmas.
Yeah.
And so I had Clickety set up as one station and my 22K is the second station because I was using the free arm.
Yeah.
And man, I just love that duo. But if I had to say which one am I going to just pull out to do everyday sewing or I wouldn't necessarily call them my favorite, but Clickety.
Because it's not nice to pick a favorite kid.
It's not. There are no favorites.
That's right.
But the 39, I use this one the most. It's okay. There's just something about it. I mean, my 37 is mint condition.
So you don't really want to use her anyway.
This one's my 37.
Oh, look at that. Holy moly. Yeah. That one you should not even breathe on.
That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. And then my daughter wanted to sew on her. And so I'm like, oh, dear. Don't know that I want to do that. No. So she's on the 41, but Clickety's got clear coat damage, missing decals.
Right.
The back
has some signs of love in use.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why, like, my school bell isn't perfect, but if I had to pick one to sew with, I think I'd pick the school bell. Because I think she's my fastest machine, and coming from modern machines, I really like a fast featherweight. And why my least favorite machine is my red one with my white polka dots, because that's my slowest. Like, really? I'm going to actually be dismantling her and sending the motor to have a service overhaul with Dad in Arizona who works for the company, because if he can get me some more speed on that machine, then maybe I might actually use her more.
Funny you say that because my 37's like that, and I want Steven to take her apart as
Yeah.
well because I'm just like, there's just something like all the machines do so differently. That is
Yes.
a fact.
Mm-hmm.
But you can always tell when something's just kind of off or not quite right. And
Right.
that's what I feel like with the 37.
Yeah.
Something
That's
just seems a little off.
yes, yes. Well, this was fun. So I just want to let everybody know I have made some other contacts. So Judy P from Massachusetts is joining us in 2 weeks, and Franny, everybody knows Franny, is going to be joining us next Wednesday for Featherweight Stories. She's got a story of her Carol, and Judy P's machine she's going to be talking about is Annie. So I think that's fun. One of the best things I've heard, I was talking to Judy P this week, and she's like, I'm so excited about this whole new series because we actually get to see what each other looks like. We've all been hanging out online through COVID and now post COVID, and I have definitely found my sense of community right here with all of you all, not y'all, but all of you all. Apparently I can't say y'all, I'm not allowed. Judy Fletcher. And but and we definitely do chat with each other, like in the chats as the lives are going on, which is that just makes me smile to no end. That not only are you finding community with me, but you guys are finding community with each other. But so some of my real dedicated viewers are going to be getting phone calls, and I want to get you guys on to talk with me like Alicia and I do, and just introduce you guys. It's like the best club ever, like best
It's
featherweight
so
club
much
ever.
fun to talk with.
Yeah.
I call them clients, but really are friends.
I
You
agree.
guys are friends.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting to hear about like what's going on in your lives or how your kids are doing and what fun-filled things you're sewing up or what your plans are, what
Yeah.
your next project is. I have a few of the same thing with some of my clients the same way. It's just, I love talking to them. I love when they ask questions or they send me messages or things like that because it's like you said, it's a real sense of community. And I am really old fashioned. I'm not going to lie. I love old stuff. And so when you have just like that sense, that kind of even brings out like the time periods of these machines. There was that strong sense of community. So I'm excited to see all of these people come on and share their featherweight stories and how they got started and just the love for featherweights, because it really is. It's so neat to be able to relate in that and have those conversations.
Yeah. Well, when you think about like how old some of these things are, like they're 87, almost 88, approaching 88 years old. The first one rolled off the assembly line in October of 33. I mean, it's like absolutely astonishing to me how the different periods of time and eras that these machines live through. I mean, they saw a world war, and then, as the economy rebounded and the machines started to be sold again, the manufacturing line picked right back up. And I mean, it's just,
Grandma was born in 30 and she's still alive. And when she was over here for my birthday, she sat in my chair and I said, "You realize that machine is 9 years older than you?" And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a 1930. It was manufactured in 1939." And it is like what you said of how much they've just lived through, what they've seen over the years. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And that's one of the reasons why I like the ones with some character marks too, because then I think that helps to tell the story, right? So I think I may have told you guys this. I had a machine come through when we were still painting for painting machines, and it looked like it had giraffe, like the clear coat was cracking in a way that looked like giraffe spots.
Oh, wow.
And she was not a pretty gal. And I remember it came in and I was like, well, this one's going to land in the paint line. And my husband said, I don't know, Darlene, there's an acorn for every squirrel. And I was like, oh, you're totally right. So sure enough, like a month later, this gal, she had a very interesting name, very old medieval name, and I wish now I could remember it, but I can't. But she lived in Portland, and Portland's just weird. And she was like, I'm looking for a featherweight. She goes, I'm looking for a special featherweight, though. I don't want it to be perfect. I want to know in a room of featherweights which one mine is. And I was like, oh, I have got the machine for you.
Oh, she found her acorn.
And she found her acorn.
He's
And
right.
so,
that's a perfect, yeah.
Example of like, so that really resonated with me because I get a lot of calls from people looking for perfect this and perfect that. And my very first question when someone says that they're looking for a super shiny featherweight is, well, are you planning on using it? Like, do you want to sew with this machine? And they're always like, yes. And I'm like, you don't want a perfect featherweight then.
Yep.
And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you're going to be the one that's going to put that first scratch in it. And you're going to be sick to your stomach that you did that. Wouldn't you rather have one that already has some wear and some marks, and never mind the fact that it's all broken in? So usually they fly, like they're so much smoother than the ones that are like your 37 behind you that is so pretty, but it has never been broken in.
You hold your breath when you sew on it.
Please work. Please work.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. And it's funny you said that because that is, I say the same thing. I'll tell people when they call me and they're looking for it, because I will help people look for featherweights, and I'm just like, don't be discouraged.
Yeah.
And totally blow off getting a featherweight because it has a missing decal.
Yeah.
Or the clear coat missing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I had a gal call Monday while we were coming home from the from Sandpoint, and she was looking for a featherweight. And I only have this one. I had this one last black featherweight in the orphanage that was left over from that big lot that I got from the Canadian last year. And and this one has some significant marring on the decking of the machine. Someone used that buttonhole cover and scratched the goodness out of it. But it's a very obvious cosmetic flaw that which one's yours. And she stitches beautifully. Like, I just couldn't believe she was still sitting in here. She's got the scrolly faceplate and the chrome hand wheel. She's a 46, like a post-war 46. And so this gal calls this on Monday, and her name was Monica. She's from, I think it's Virginia. I think she's from Virginia. And she was looking for a machine. And then she tells me that her current machine is a 1925. I think she said it was either a 66 or a 99. But because it lives in a box, the cord is too short for the foot controller to reach the ground. Okay. And so she really wanted one of these featherweights so it would have a longer cord and be able to sit tabletop. So as soon as I heard that she was sewing on a 1925, I was like, oh, I think I have the machine for you. Because I knew she wasn't going to give any care to the fact that it had some cosmetic defects in it. So it's pretty fun. I love being that person, and I'm sure you do too, that like connects the right machine to the right person. Like, or that just makes
in their find.
Yeah, you know, just makes me smile.
Yep. Rejoices. The machines that we're doing now.
Monica's on. She goes, it was a 1925 and she was a 99. Thanks, Monica. I was just talking about your little 46. I'm here, Richmond, Virginia, she says. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. All right. Well, I feel like we have definitely covered all aspects of this, and I really appreciate you taking a few minutes with me, as always, and getting on camera. And you're delightful. And anytime I can have an excuse to have Lucy and Lucy on, I'm always game. So I owe you too. If you ever want me to get onto your platform, I'll do it.
Maybe I'll make that a fall to-do list when I'm revamping my website, and I will just be like, hey, is Ray busy? Because I don't know what I'm doing, because I am not that great at the computer.
Yeah, I can hold my own, only because my family brings my computer technology level up. Because I have to keep up with the two of them. Otherwise, they're like, oh my gosh, Mom, just give it to me. I'll do it for you.
Not quite there yet, but my husband still has a dumb phone, so asking him for help, not going to happen.
Yeah, I get it.
But
All
it's
right,
been
friends.
fun. Thanks so much, Darlene, for having me on.
Thank you, sweetheart. Enjoy the sun for the summer, and when you get serious again, let's reconnect in the fall.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, sweetheart. We'll talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
Bye, Alicia. Thanks for joining me, everybody. We'll see you on Friday for the